Let's say hello to Bomani Jones. Game Theory, new episode tonight. We already have a pre-viral clip making the rounds on the internet before tonight's episode.
What I was about to say was, this Paul brother decided that he was going to throw his own verbal jabs at Bomani. Okay? Now, listen, if we take the Paul brother's word for it that he doesn't know who Bo is.
This one's Jake, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That he doesn't know who Bo is.
So Dennis has the audio. So real quick, here's the exchange that we'll get the full thing tonight on Game Theory.
After Tommy Fury, where do you go from there? Like, what happens if you lose one of these fights?
I don't plan on losing. You know, I don't train to lose. Maybe that I feel like that's probably like your mindset. You know, a lot of people try to project their mindsets onto me.
No, I ain't no projecting of a mindset. My question is, this is work because we're all surprised that you keep winning these fights, right? But if somebody does beat you, how much interest stays in this when it stops being surprised?
They won't. And I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't know who the you are. My PR team set up this interview.
All I know about you is that people don't like you.
So I'm laughing because normally athletes or coaches would say something like that and they would just think, oh, well, the journalist on the other side is just going to cower and go away. Oh, no, sir. It's Bomani Jones, who for a living spars with people. So congrats to you. I enjoyed that tremendously.
This was my thing on that part in particular, because there's a much longer interview. We cut it down to something short, but there are like 3 different points at which he just decides, I think it's just his move that he's just going to try to insult me. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but dude, I'm 42. Like, you're not going to nanny boo-boo me into like losing my composure with you, young man. Like, that is actually what I should have done at some point, stopped and said, young man. Like, I got a buddy that used to work in loss prevention at the Nordstrom at South Point, and something happened and he caught some kid boosting, and the kid like didn't, I guess acquiesce to my man's authority, and he wound up chasing him down, snatching him, throwing him out the Nordstrom, standing over him and saying, young man, you must have took me for some kind of bleep. And I should have just hit him with young man.
Left it there.
I thought you handled it well. It did make me start to think, Bo, which is kind of, it's warping my, speaking of old man energy here, it is warping my 47-year-old brain. And you already know my opinion of you, so I'm not fluffing you here. You've spent the better part of 10 years being regularly on ESPN?
Yeah.
10 years?
15 at
15
this point,
years? Yeah. Okay. So you're trying to tell me.
Oh.
No, but you're trying to tell me that someone who's even if they don't know you, you're the black guy on ESPN, right? Even if they don't know you're Bomani Jones, they know who the hell you are.
Yeah, you Kevin Blackstone.
I mean, come on. You've regularly been on ESPN. Now you have your own HBO show. This isn't some corner niche of YouTube. And I know who I'm talking about. I know the Paul brothers have 8 bazillion followers, but Joe and I had a conversation this week about sports fans, who isn't sports fans. Legitimately, if we walked out on the street, certainly in a certain age demographic, people who follow sports are going to go, well, yeah, I know who Bomani Jones. He's on. They'll at least say it's the guy from ESPN.
I see him at the airport.
Who do you have to find to know who the Paul brothers are? Anyone under the age of 30 who doesn't watch TV.
Well, actually, it's interesting. It's people under 30 and their parents who hate Jake Paul to death. Like, we shot some stuff outside about Jake Paul, and my question at every turn was, are these people going to know who Jake Paul is? And they absolutely do. It is possible.
Young people.
Yeah,
okay.
But it's no. They weren't even young. Like, it was a range of people. Yeah, but he's got to remember, man, people are raising these youth. People know the teenagers, and the teenagers say the stuff, and so they're aware of who he is, and then they additionally dislike him because everybody that's old dislikes what young people like. Yeah. But the thing about him saying that he didn't know who I was is, I'm not exactly sure why I'm supposed to be insulted by that.
Right.
Like, you don't know who I am.
Cool.
Okay. It's not the biggest deal in the world.
A lot of people don't know who you are. A lot of people don't know who I am. I mean, it's the thing. But your point about the Jake Paul part is the same conversation I had with Caleb my oldest, when he made reference to Andrew Tate well before Andrew Tate truly hit the news, right?
Ooh, that's frightening.
Right. Because it's my job to understand what the heck my kids are consuming on YouTube. Say, whoa. What you know about Andrew Tate? He goes, oh, no, me and my friends make fun of him. Like, oh, did you wake up thinking about your new Bugatti? Like he was roasting the idea. I'm like, oh, okay, we're cool here. But as a parent, right. Come on, Bo. Insufficient daddying. Do you?
That's what I was about to say, man.
On certain things, sure, but not.
I'm just saying, you'd have had the boys watching Danger Mouse cartoons, listening to all kinds of music that their friends have no idea about. Like, who is Sonic Youth, right? You had doing all that, and then if you looked up and they had forsaken it all, they're like, Dad had me over here listening to the Indigo Girls, and that made me want to go get on some Andrew Tate. Yeah, that would have been the ultimate failure.
It really would. But no. Instead, I take him to a Roger Waters show, and he's complaining about which songs he played, and like, wait a minute, did he really do that? But we talked about that another day.
I'm still impressed. That's a good job by you. I worry for the kid, but also love him at the same time.
Fair enough. Bomani Jones, Game Theory Season 2, still ongoing. New episode tonight with Jake Paul. But look, Hayes Permar was filling in for Adam earlier today. Let's just bring this all in. Let's go all local here, Bo. And Hayes had an idea, right? Because it actually ties into what happened with Jake Paul. And that is, he's like, yeah, let's do the thing where I never listened to your show, but you said, oh, you just happened to. And when I see that, like, I don't know who you are, man. Like, no, you do. You do. Otherwise, you would have said no to the show. You're just saying yes to all the producers. Nah, forget it. So he knows who you are. All right, tomorrow, we got Cameron Indoor.
Well, actually, hold on. Before we get to that, as you mentioned that I never listened to your show but always know about the show.
Uh-huh.
How's Dick and Riley doing?
He's fine.
Is he good?
He's
fine. Is he great?
I think great? I actually texted him the other day because I'm trying to cash in a favor with Hootie and the Blowfish. So we'll see.
I mean, Dick. I love that man.
I'm sure he's DVRing and watching on the app.
Oh, he's still waiting for that day that I'm going to wind up on welfare like he said I would when I lost my job in the local area. Remember that, Dick?
That's local Bo. That's what I want. Much like you wanted to be here. You wanted to be here at the end of last season.
Yeah.
At Cameron Indoor Stadium as Carolina beat Duke, right?
Oh, yeah.
I know you missed being here. And now we fast forward to tomorrow, where UNC is coming back to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Now it's John Shire and Hubert Davis. And we started the show, and I realized as we're talking about, if Derek Lively does this, and Caleb Love's going to hit a bunch of threes, and I thought to myself, and I told Joe, what does it matter? Does it matter?
Can you talk some sense into him? This is the guy who'll watch every single Star Wars reboot. It's the same movie 38 times. And now all of a sudden he doesn't want to see a reboot.
Well, the thing I'll say is this. It matters for a day, but it'll take 50 years for Duke to wash the 2022 off. It will take 50 years. You will need entire generations of people who don't remember it happened and don't know anybody who was there when it happened. It's going to take about 3 generations to wash off the 2022. I don't know what you would, it still hurts if you're a Carolina fan to lose the Duke, but you always got the back pocket.
Yeah.
Always got it.
Like it doesn't validate anything. If anything, it's like big season opener after a Super Bowl energy on Saturday.
Look, I told you, if I were Bubba still the athletic director, right?
Yeah.
If I was Bubba, I would have said that we're not sending our team to the Final Four last year. We wouldn't have played that game. Y'all can have that forfeit win. That's fine. But it will end like this. This is how we want it to end.
How's Coach K taking in the game Saturday?
Is he even going to watch?
I think so. He'll be in the lair, right? He'll watch it.
I will say this about him, and this is something that'll be interesting to see as time goes on about Shire. One thing that was always very interesting to me as someone who was naturalized into that rivalry and watching it is realizing just how much Kay hates Carolina, realizing just how much Roy, I think Roy probably hates State more, but it just was never relevant, but just how much these guys actually hate each other. And Shire, it will be interesting to see how that comes out in him. Because I guess it worked out okay in the end, but he went through those 3 years of losing at home to Carolina the whole time, where it looked like they were never going to be on top. I want to see the petty that's in his soul about this, because otherwise, losing Krzyzewski, who's such a polarizing figure, I think greatly affects how much you enjoy hating Duke. If Josh Shire does not demonstrate himself to be similarly easy to dislike. And Shire seems actually rather difficult to dislike.
No, in going to games this season, they've actually changed a lot of the stuff that happens at Cameron Indoor Stadium. You know, Shire's wife comes out with a patient from Duke Hospital. That's their player of the game. They go to the Crazies. They give high fives. It's a complete, and he goes
Is
to
there
the
still Cascada?
I don't even think. No, they still do.
Okay.
I think they still do that. There are still some songs that they'll do.
Crazy Towel Guy?
No, they stopped going to Crazy
Retired,
Towel Guy.
sorry. Okay.
Well, and that's
He's
the
still,
thing.
He's still on the league?
Yeah, he's still
No.
in the league. He's actually still with us. He's at the games.
I
They
mean,
just
he's with
don't call
us.
him.
They just don't look for him.
Oh, they don't go. Like, did they have a talk with him about that?
I think they just
Unofficially, I think they did. Yeah.
yeah, I think they have talked to him about that. Yeah,
Wow.
and they
I
stopped
know.
calling for him. But
But
when I get there,
Cascada's still
Saturday,
there, so.
here's the question about the Crazies, right? When I get there Saturday and I go over to our spot, they usually have the cheer sheets laid out. If you're a Cameron Crazy, do you even do a cheer sheet on Saturday? What are you going to say?
I don't know why you're making this assumption of these Duke students being self-aware.
Okay.
That's something I've never really witnessed myself.
How about college students being aware? Is that probably a better blanket statement?
Nah, yeah, but we talking about them.
Okay.
Like a big part of the whole Duke thing is the fact that it is in fact them. I sent you a text on Wednesday where I asked if you were at the game. That's before I saw that red flannel. Like once you said, of course, I'm hearing the flannel. That I looked up, I was like, oh, okay, there's Joe. They didn't seem to be crazies. They seem more like kookies.
Yeah.
Like it don't. The thing with the Crazies is like trying to sustain that whole thing over decades, especially as it becomes a status quo sort of thing. Like those kids just seem to be there like, yeah, I went to Duke to say I was with the Crazies, as opposed to people that were really crazy about this.
It's been like that for 15 years at this point.
I would say like the games I went to in like 08, 09 around there,
Okay.
they were still pretty body. It looked like a different world, but I guess that's 15 years ago. Sorry about that. My bad. Got old. Didn't realize it.
Trust me, Joe and I get reminders every day.
Oh,
Every day.
we had a 9:00 game the other night, Bo. I could not make it. So
I ain't got nothing on that. I ain't going to no 9:00 game.
no,
Bomani Jones.
no energy. It's not there for me.
Game Theory tonight. Full Jake Paul interview.
Yeah.
I got the Paul
Yeah,
brother, right?
Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
did.
it's really more so than him. There's an essay. There's a lot going on there. We also have Stephen A. Smith joining us in studio.
Okay, very, very cool. No, you mean Stephen A. is not just going to magically appear at the end of the show as somebody you talk to on the street?
No. He will not be there. He will not be there with Adam Duritz. We got somebody else that we got a little Easter egg for y'all.
All right. Looking forward to it, man. All right, we will talk to you next week.
All right, man. You guys be good.